There are 8 crafting disciplines in Guild Wars 2. Weaponsmith, Huntsman, and Artificer all make weapons. Armorsmith, Leatherworker, and Tailor all make armor. Jewelers make accessories, and chefs make food. Learning a crafting discipline is as easy as finding a trainer for that discipline, talking to them, and asking to learn the discipline. There is no fee to learn a new crafting discipline. Crafting trainers are always found near crafting stations, and crafting stations are always marked on your map. If you want, you can train all 8 crafting disciplines on the same character, but you can only have 2 active at any one time. In order to swap between them, you have to visit the trainer for the discipline you want to activate, choose which of your current 2 active professions you want to deactivate, and pay a fee based on the current level of the crafting skill you're activating. This fee works out to 10 copper per level, which means that if you want to reactivate a discipline that you've leveled to 400, it will cost you 40 silver. Note that you don't lose any progress when deactivating a discipline, you just won't be able to use it until you reactivate it. Also note that you earn experience towards your character level as well as your crafting level when you're leveling up a crafting skill. In total, leveling a crafting discipline from 0 to the current cap of 400, you will earn enough experience to gain 10 character levels. So once you've decided which disciplines you want to go with and you've learned them from a crafting trainer, you can head to the appropriate crafting station nearby and open the crafting interface by right-clicking on the crafting station or hitting your interaction hotkey when the interaction prompt pops up. Not counting the 2 bank tabs, there are 2 tabs in the crafting interface that you can switch between using the icons on the left side of the crafting window. The top tab, indicated by the anvil icon, is the discovery pane. You'll notice that when you select it, you get an inventory list down the left side of the pane showing which items currently in your personal inventory could be used to discover a new recipe. If you have a crafting material in your personal inventory that is not showing up in the discovery pane inventory list, it means the item cannot be used to discover a new recipe. If an item in the discovery pane inventory appears in red, it means that it can be used to discover a new recipe, but you're too low level to make the item. The discovery pane has 4 slots where you can place items and a dialog box at the bottom that will offer hints as you go. Keep in mind that not all recipes will use 4 items. In fact, with the exception of the chef discipline, you're not likely to see too many recipes that use all 4 slots. As you add items to one of the boxes, the dialog box at the bottom will tell you how many undiscovered recipes use that item, what level is required to make something with it, and will either tell you to add more items or it will tell you that you might be onto something and prompt you to hit the create button to make it. Discovering a new recipe not only grants you experience for making the item, but also bonus experience for the discovery that can add up very quickly. The other pane in the crafting interface is the production pane, where you will be given a list of all the items for which you already know the recipes. Note also that this is where you'll find the recipes to refine your raw crafting materials, as well as the recipes for the components you'll be using in order to create finished pieces of gear. These recipes are given to you when you train the crafting discipline, and new recipes for refined materials and components are automatically added at certain points as you level up. You don't have to talk to your trainer to learn new skills. Recipes in the production pane are color-coded. If they're listed in red text, it means you're not high enough level to make them yet. You'll usually only see red recipes when you're approaching a new bracket or a new tier of materials. If you're not sure, you can select the recipe and it will tell you what level you need to be in order to make it. Orange recipes are recipes that will grant good experience when you make them, green slightly less, blue will grant very little experience, and gray will give no experience at all. I think now would be a good time to go into a little more detail on the fine crafting materials. As mentioned earlier in the series, fine crafting materials are what determine the stats that you get on a finished piece of gear. Sometimes you can just combine components with plain old fine crafting materials to come up with a finished piece of gear, but most of the time you'll need to combine the fine crafting materials with something else. Armor disciplines will combine the fine crafting materials with cloth or cloth and thread to create insignias, and weapon disciplines will combine fine crafting materials with different kinds of wooden dowels to create inscriptions. These insignias and inscriptions are what you then combine with the gear components in order to make finished gear. The recipes for these inscriptions and insignias are given to you automatically as you level your discipline. In short, for all disciplines except cooking, the general formula is to convert raw materials to refined materials, convert refined materials to components, and combine components with fine crafting materials to make finished gear. Each discipline also has other discoveries that you may come across for things like runes and sigils, but I'll leave those for you to experiment with. And that, in a nutshell, is crafting in Guild Wars 2, but we're not done with the guide just yet. It would be nice if we had a sense of direction in terms of what we might want to make and when, so we're going to sort that out in the next video.